Please like the video, subscribe my channel. Here is your completely rewritten version in English with new characters, new framing, and improved flow. Keeping the core message, but changing structure, tone, and examples from the time we are children. We are taught one thing over and over again. Be kind. Be polite. Help everyone. Keep everyone happy. And we try. We genuinely try. But as we grow older, as we step into the real world, as we experience relationships, workplaces, competition, and ambition, a harsh truth slowly reveals itself. And it's not a comfortable truth. Being nice is not enough to succeed. The people who rise to the top are not the ones who are nice all the time. They are the ones who know when to be firm. That realization hurts. It feels wrong. You start asking yourself, do I really need to be a little ruthless to win in life? Today, let's talk about the truth that society rarely says out loud. The truth that motivational quotes soften. The truth that many people never understand and spend their entire lives struggling because of it. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed? Why isn't the hardest worker always the most successful? Why isn't the most honest person always the wealthiest? Why is the kindest person often the most exhausted and sometimes the most unhappy? Because the world is not a fairy tale. In childhood stories, the good character always wins. Honesty triumphs. Hard work guarantees reward. But real life is not a storybook. It's a competitive arena. And the rules of this game are not taught in school. Here's the uncomfortable reality. The world admires kind people, but it rewards people who can protect their own interests. Let's take an example. Meet Daniel. Daniel wants everyone to like him. He never says no. He takes on extra work. He avoids conflict. He puts others first, always. And what happens? At the office, he's overloaded. In friendships, he's taken for granted. In family matters, he's the one who adjusts. People call him such a good person. But deep down, everyone knows one thing. Daniel won't refuse. And slowly, Daniel becomes tired, then resentful, then confused. I was so good to everyone. Why does this keep happening to me? Because the world respects kindness, but it exploits weakness. And this is the line most people fail to see. Kindness and weakness are not the same. But if you never set boundaries, kindness slowly turns into weakness. And that is where defeat begins. Here's the first rule of real success. Stop trying to keep everyone happy. The moment you do, some people will call you selfish. Some will say you've changed. Some will think you've become cold. That is the moment your real life begins. If you say yes to everything, when will you say yes to yourself? If you fulfill everyone's expectations, what happens to your own dreams? If everyone else is your priority, when do you become yours? Time is the rarest currency in the world. And the good person often spends it entirely on others, only to wake up one day and realize their own life never truly started. Now, being bad does not mean cheating, lying, or harming others. It means being firm when necessary, saying no without guilt, standing your ground, protecting your energy. It sounds simple, but it's hard because most of us were trained to believe saying no is rude. Putting yourself first is selfish. Thinking about your own growth is wrong. That belief is the biggest lie we were sold. Look around. In every workplace, there's someone like Daniel. In every family, there's someone who always sacrifices. In every friend group, there's someone who never refuses. Everyone praises them. But everyone also relies on the fact that they won't resist. That is not virtue. That is self-neglect. Successful people learn one skill early: boundaries. Boundaries mean deciding how far people can go with you. how much access they get, how much of your time they deserve. A person with no boundaries has no value in competitive spaces. That sounds harsh, but it's real. Remember this, the world likes kind people, but it takes seriously the ones who can stand up for themselves. So when needed, be firm. When required, say no. When necessary, choose yourself. Because the one who tries to please everyone eventually loses themselves. And the one who chooses themselves builds their own world. Here is part 2. Fully rewritten, new examples, new characters. Deeper psychological angle, stronger impact. Now let's go deeper. Because understanding this truth intellectually is easy. Living it is uncomfortable. Let me introduce someone else. Meet Sophia. Sophia grew up being called the mature one. She handled problems calmly. She adjusted in arguments. She apologized even when it wasn't fully her fault, just to keep peace. People loved her, but they also leaned on her. In relationships, she was the emotional support. At work, she was the reliable one. In her family, she was the problem solver. But here's what nobody noticed. Sophia was slowly disappearing. Because when you are always the strong one, no one asks if you are tired. When you are always the understanding one, no one tries to understand you. And when you are always available, no one values your presence. This is the silent cost of being endlessly good. There is something uncomfortable about human psychology. People value what they can lose, not what is always available. When you are always there, you become expected. When you are rare, you become respected. This is not cruelty. It is human behavior. Think about it. The employee who sets limits is respected more than the one who stays late every single day. The friend who doesn't tolerate disrespect is valued more than the one who laughs everything off. The leader who can say no commands more authority than the one who tries to be liked. Why? Because boundaries signal self-worth, and the world mirrors how you treat yourself. If you treat your time as cheap, others will too. If you treat your energy as unlimited, others will drain it. If you treat yourself as secondary, others will rank you that way. Here's the shift most people never make. Stop asking, how can I be liked? Start asking, how can I be respected? Being liked feels warm. Being respected builds power. And power, when used wisely, protects you. Let's be clear about something important. Kindness is strength when it is a choice. It becomes weakness when it is fear. If you are kind because you are confident and in control, that is power. If you are kind because you are afraid of rejection, conflict, or being alone, that is insecurity. Most people confuse the two. They think avoiding confrontation is maturity. Sometimes it is. Often, it is fear wearing a polite mask. Growth begins the day you become comfortable disappointing people. Yes, disappointing people, not by hurting them, not by betraying them, but by refusing to abandon yourself. There will be moments in your life when you must choose their approval or your alignment, their comfort or your future, their expectations or your truth. And every time you choose yourself, something interesting happens. The weak connections fade. The manipulative ones leave. The opportunists disappear. What remains? People who respect you. There is another myth we need to destroy. You must be soft to be good. No, you must be clear to be good. Clarity is not cruelty. Saying, I cannot do this is not aggression. Saying, this does not work for me is not arrogance. Saying, I deserve better is not ego. It is self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. Because once you respect yourself, your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your decisions change. Your standards rise. And when your standards rise, your circle changes. Success is not only about talent, it is about positioning. And positioning begins with how you allow others to treat you. Remember this, the world tests you. Not once, repeatedly. It will test how much you tolerate, how much you accept, how much you compromise. And every time you fail to draw a line, the line moves further away. So what does learning to be bad really mean? It means not over-explaining your decisions, not apologizing for your boundaries, not shrinking to make others comfortable, not negotiating your core values. It means becoming calm, not cruel, firm, not hostile, unshakable, not aggressive. There is a quiet power in that. And once you taste that power, you will never want to go back to people-pleasing. Because the truth is this, the person who sacrifices themselves for everyone ends up invisible. But the person who protects their time, energy, and focus